Hey, hey, hey. Hello, hello, and good welcome. Susan Gaddy here, back with another episode of Training as a Business Driver. If we haven't met yet, I am so happy that you have joined me. I am a business owner, but long term training strategist. And I have found over and over and over again that when you combine the power of marketing and sales and training together, you can really grow your business and your results and, quite frankly, achieve your big mission exponentially better than you could without that third leg of the stool. I see training as the third leg of the stool. And today's topic is exactly about how do you get even better at increasing current client satisfaction rates. So, welcome, welcome, welcome. I see some people are live with me. I can see some of your comments if you are typing, and if you're catching me on the replay, because these live beyond this immediate session, please feel free to comment and let me know anything that's resonating with you, any questions you have. And there's certain things that we offer only in these live settings that are also available to you if you're watching. So again, like back to the topic today, what is today all about is, this whole idea of, I feel like there's tons of training, tons of strategy, tons of people talking about how do you grow your professional services business on the front end, right? It's always the sales funnel. And believe me, you have to know all of those things. But there's every bit as strong a sales funnel after you make that sale. And that to me is where training and having really good service strategies come into play even better. Because the truth, and tell me if you find this in your own business, and I even think I put this in the quote, it's exponentially more expensive, more time consuming, it takes longer, and the amount of effort to close a sale for someone brand new is completely different than a client that has already worked with you, already knows you, and already likes you. And so, what can we do to get even better results for our clients so that our referrals are even stronger? So, I want to show you some typical things that I see showing up in my inbox all the time. And I'm so curious to see if you experience this as well. But, following up with our clients is like the single, simplest, easiest thing on the planet that we can do to find out what's happening with them. Are they enjoying their product or their service? Did we hit their mark? Right? And could we actually offer anything else to them? And so I see this happening all the time. This is our first example. And this would be an example of what happens when a salesperson thinks about this post-marketing sales funnel. And I'm going to tell you, I don't have the name of the company here, but I will tell you this is an actual email that I received. Great follow-up series. Somebody was definitely thinking. I got to give them a lot of credit. But here's what happens when you think from a sales perspective, and the goal is to just buy more, right? Just buy more. Hey, Susan, for the first time ever, I'm extending our Independence Day offer. Jolanne's chance to buy, right? Reply to this message, which is all well and good, except that I just bought this software system and I actually really like it. But I'm pretty typical of most people. I don't really know how to use it. I pretty much forget how to log in most of the time. And if I'm being really honest, the purpose that I bought it for was to help me grow my business. But because I'm not really using the service that much, because I haven't figured out all the bells and whistles, right? Because I'm not seeing immediate results with it, my feeling about it is kind of lukewarm. Hey, listen, is there anything wrong with their product? No. I'll be the first to tell you it's me. I am the problem. I am the bottleneck. But because they haven't taken the time to ask that question, I was not receptive at all when this email came up. And as a matter of fact, not only was I not receptive, but I was a little angry at this company. I was like, you had enough forethought, right? You already know that your current customers are a great way to continue to grow your business. But nobody took the time to write to me and say, hey, how's it going? Right? Has that ever happened for any of you? Right? Can you think of a service provider that you worked with the program is over, the course is over, right? The coaching session is over, the templates that you created are yours. Have you ever gotten a phone call, an email, a text message, a voice memo, the simplest thing that said, hey, how'd it go? Did it work out for you? Were you able to use it? Right? That's the thing we actually don't do. That's the step that we actually miss. And what happens is I would be more likely to refer business to this company if I was personally experiencing a greater level of satisfaction. Give me a thumbs up if you agree with that, right? When is it that we actually refer business? Let's see if we can brainstorm a couple of ideas, right? When the value is there, when you get a result, right? Maybe you're changing a behavior. Whatever you bought the product or service from is actually doing its job, right? And what happens when you're a happy, satisfied customer? You're probably more likely to share the story with someone else. Maybe you're willing to do a testimonial. Maybe are more likely to follow them on social media, comment on their posts. And just maybe if they asked you to recommend a friend or a colleague or a business partner, would you be more likely to do that? I think the answer to all of those is yes. And again, whether you're watching live or watching it on the replay, remember, it's not the fact that you serviced a customer that is going to make them a good referral partner. It's the fact that they found a perceived value. And again, if we go back to this, there's nothing wrong with this product. It's a good product. But I personally haven't gotten the value that I hoped and that I dreamed about, right? I ran into an obstacle. I ran into a roadblock. I ran into something that I couldn't solve for myself. And because nobody cared enough to ask me, I'm kind of sitting there with my hands up in the air going, it's fine. I'm probably not going to make the second purchase. I'm probably not going to tell anybody else about this software because I didn't get a result. So what can we do, right? Who's asking that question right now? What can we do? Put that in the chat for me. I'm going to show you. This is a real life example, again, of this happened to be a software product that I personally bought. And I'm going to mention them by name because I like this product so much. I will refer other people to it. Let me make this nice and big so you can see this. Actually, I'm going to pull myself out altogether. There you go. So you can see this nice and big. So this is a software company called Mentimeter. So for those of you that present like this or host workshops and things like that, and you want to find a way to make them a little bit more interactive, Mentimeter is a great way to do that. So how cool is this email? And in case you can't read it, I'm going to go through these, right? So here's the follow-up I got. This is from a service perspective, not a sales. And it's really targeted at figuring out, am I getting the most value? So here's the first thing they say to me. Need a bit of help getting started. Yes. Listen, people, we all know that building muscle memory, I always like to give this, right? Building muscle memory is the first thing that you need to do, especially if you're selling a new product, a new service, wanting people to log into a website, inviting them to your community. They don't yet have the automatic behavior around it, so it's not a part of their daily life. And I don't care if you disagree with me on this, it is a part of your job. I have this conversation a lot. I'm actually curious to hear how you feel about this because I do think this is a really interesting point. Whose job is it, or who has more to gain by a new person getting a series of emails that help them remember that they bought this thing from you, right? I believe we are. I believe we are. I know a lot of people think that, well, it's there, if they really wanted it, they would do it, blah, 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 blah. It's so busy in the world. Our minds are so busy. We forget. I forget a million times over. And I am exponentially grateful every time someone sends me a reminder about something I really wanted in the first place. So this company is already on board with me, right? And we know that one of the biggest barriers to someone liking our program and using our program, right, and becoming a satisfied customer who would refer us is this problem. So we get it, right? There's so much you can do. Here's one of our most popular business templates. so you can get some inspiration on what our community loves. I mean, how great is this, right? Click the box right here, get a template. Hey, we know this is happening for you. Don't even worry about it. No shame, no embarrassment, right? And oh, by the way, we're going to make it crazy easy for you to click this button and get what you need. Now, this company is really like top of their game. Okay. If they would have left me with that, I would have been super happy. And now look, they gave me a step-by-step direction for how to get in there. And if I want to listen to this recorded video down here, I can. So this is an example, and let's give this company a thumbs up again. Mentimeter, I got to give them so much credit where credit is due. This is an example of what I would call an educational marketing funnel. Again, training, sales, marketing. You have to have all three of those brains working to achieve all of these goals. Our goal here is increase client satisfaction. So we need to be thinking about our clients the same way we would about how do we bring new people through the funnel. Now we need the second funnel. How do we bring our clients, the people that have paid us money, have requested our service, how do we make sure that they are getting the most value, the best results, and the greatest experience with us? Because we know that's what's going to lead to them. Let's list the things again. What does this lead to? It's going to lead to buying future products. It's going to lead to potential recommendations and referrals. It's going to lead to options for testimonials, right? And it's going to contribute to the overall goodwill that this company feels about us. That is priceless for a business. Give me a heck yeah in the comments if you agree. So here's my favorite definition for educational marketing. It really is about knowing your product so well, right? Knowing your product so well that you can identify and remove the barriers to implementation, because that is what keeps people from achieving higher customer satisfaction rates. There's almost always not anything necessarily with you or with your service or your product, but it's how well did your client actually assimilate to it and implement it, right? So the power is always in the implementation of it. And that needs to be a two-way street between you and your client. But don't fool yourself. You do have a very vested interest in playing a central role in the implementation side of your business, especially a professional services business company. And I'm going to just take myself off the screen really quick and give you a great example. So one of the things that we do at MXID is we help business owners to create training pieces that they can implement in their company. And they don't always hire us to do the implementation phase. They take it on their own. But we have a very thought out and consistent process about how often we follow up in that pivotal 30-day, 60-day, and 90-day mark, because we know that if they go to use the materials that we create for them and they aren't successful, they are going to perceive that our material wasn't very good. I know that for a fact. So again, we have built a process in there where we simply check in. This doesn't even need to be complicated. If you're not ready for the big funnel, it doesn't even need to be complicated. Let me show you how easy this can be. All you need to decide is that this is important to you. If you decide that this is important to you today, here's how you get started. And it really is this easy. Ask. That's what I said. At 60, within the first 30 days, are you calling up that customer, texting that customer, voice memoing the customer? Again, you don't need a system. You don't need to go spend a lot of money on this. Put a ticker on your calendar, call your client. Hey, Sue Gaddy calling. I know we created these templates for you. I wanted to check in. How's everything going? Are they working for you? Boom. That's all I need to say. I need to care enough and I need to ask. Here's where I think it gets a little bit harder for people is I actually need to listen to what they say. And quite frankly, sometimes I hear information that I wish I wouldn't. And I'm going to be really transparent about that. You know, I've had people say to me, it wasn't a good investment of my money. It wasn't what I thought I was going to get. Quite frankly, a lot of times I hear I haven't even gotten to it yet. right? Because the implementation got lost in the shuffle. In the beginning, this was a very painful thing for me because I was very tied up in the response. Like my personal worth was tied up in their response. But the second I started to let that go a little bit and just reminded myself that, listen, that's why I'm here. I want to uncover what isn't working because then you can jump right into stage three. You can actually remove those barriers. And I was in a great marketing conversation this morning with a group of, business owners in an alliance group that I belong to, in a networking group that I belong to. And honestly, every single one of us had a story to tell. I'm sure you do too, about that client that didn't have the best experience or hadn't, whoops, or there was some sort of mistake. But when we would fix that mistake, our relationship was actually even stronger. Raise your hand if you believe that that's true. And if you're in a position right now where you're feeling really uncomfortable or very nervous about hearing bad news, remind yourself that those stories are often become your best clients. And when you solve a problem for someone and you take a few minutes to show that you care and then act on what they're saying by removing these barriers, you're literally building that client for life mentality. That's how successful companies are built, and that's how they thrive. Yes, you need the front end marketing service. You need the front end sales, right? So that you have, consistent people falling into the funnel. But you need to have this process on the back end so that you are servicing and delivering at a higher level than they're used to getting. And quite frankly, the bar is so low that you don't even need to have a big fancy process to go with this. So if I were to just recap these slides with you really quick, this is what I'm going to do. To get started, all you need to do is decide what is the question I'm going to ask. You really only need one question. Please don't do a survey of 20, right? Please don't create this gigantic campaign. One question. You can write it, you can email it, you can text message it, you can voice memo it, you can, any way that you connect with this person. And you're simply asking this one question. Hey, it's Susan Gaddy calling from MXID. It's been 2 weeks since we finished up your project. We like to check in with our customers. And is everything going as planned? Or is there something we can help you to solve, fix, or correct? Boom. I almost always get a response, right? I almost always get a response. That response sometimes is, it's great. And I say, awesome. And then I remind myself to check in again 30 days from now. Oftentimes I'll get something they loved, and oftentimes I'll get a problem. And I go right into action. I go right into removal of that problem so that I maintain the quality of that relationship I built so hard to create, right? That's the name of the game. I'm going to just take you back to this slide right here really quick. I call it educational marketing. Other people might call it other things, but it really is this practice and this habit of identifying and removing barriers that stop the forward momentum of your client, right? They contribute to beliefs around limited value, limited meaning, and sometimes really just, I guess the word I would say for it is negative opinions of you, your service, or your product, or someone on your team, depending on how big your team is. This one little check-in solves a lot of those problems. So I hope you found this beneficial today. Remember, there's your front end funnel for bringing customers in, but it is 5 times more expensive. That's what the research says. I don't know. Some people say even more. The lowest number I found was five times. It is 5 times more expensive to go out and get a new customer than it is to create and maintain a relationship with your current customer and ensure that they've had the level of experience and achieved the level of result that they desired, so that they will go on to be a great source of referral, as well as possibly somebody that just might even be interested in buying additional products or services for you. So if you found this helpful today, please drop a comment and let me know. I appreciate anyone that's willing to tag a friend, a colleague, another business owner. I want to just remind you very quickly of the 3 steps. Ask. Again, make it simple. Please don't make this hard. Please don't make this hard. When you're ready, when you've done this at least 5 times, right? This asking, then you're ready to start putting something together. But you don't need to do that before then. Ask, listen to what they have to say, and remove the barriers that come up. And remember to, if you're worried about hearing potentially bad news, just reframe that for yourself, and just remember, information is information, and not being able to know it is the worst place that you can be. And then finally, I want to just let you know that I do have a quick start guide on this. Access our quick start guide to educational marketing. You can comment right below, say, give me the guide. Yes, whatever you want to put out there, and I will send that to you. You can always message me on any of my social channels here on LinkedIn or Facebook, wherever you are watching us. And I would love, love, love to know, what are some other topics that you'd be interested in hearing more about? We try and do this Training as a Business Driver series about monthly, sometimes twice a month. I don't have a set schedule because I like it to be something that I know is meaningful. And this was a conversation that I've seen happening many, many times lately, that, we think so much about our business funnels on the front end, but long-term sustainable business growth is about creating quality relationships with your clients that will ultimately go on to refer you. I know when I look at my own business, again, if this isn't something you track, I highly recommend you start getting some metrics in place. That's another space that we help business owners. You cannot fix, you cannot change, you cannot elevate, you cannot expand what you don't even understand is happening. So if you don't even know right now how much of your business is coming from new business, how much is coming from referral, that is a really great place to get started. Because what I think you'll be surprised to find out is that we spend a lot of money on social media, on marketing, on upfront things, but yet most of our business is truly coming from referral, especially if you're a professional services business owner. Lawyers, doctors, accountants, consultants like myself, even like my instructional design work. It's much easier when someone is, in their circles talking and they're like, oh, I need a training program created, and a very satisfied client says, oh, I got a great person for you. That business is easier to close, right? They already come with like a stamp and seal of approval. So you've really jumped through a lot of hurdles. So it's really worth almost even more putting focus on creating more of an educational marketing strategy around how to service your current clients than it is to spend all your time, all your money, all your energy chasing something that is probably sometimes, a 3 to 5 year period to drop through the funnel. Again, I hope this is resonating with you, that you're finding value in here. Remember, training as a business driver. And if I can help you grow your business with training, I would love to connect with you and say hello. Have an amazing day. I'll see you again soon.